Molweni, ndinguDumo Jebesemfengxe, and yep, once again, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for once again taking the time to join me. Okay. Sisaqhuba, we're still continuing with our parent-child relationship. We have explored different parts of looking at the parent, what the parent needs to do, the journey of the parent. Kuqala, before we look at the parent and the child, we spoke about self-awareness, how important it is for you as a parent to know yourself. We have already spoken as well about the importance of understanding your background, everything that comes with your background. We have explored our childhood traumas as parents, and we have said we need to understand how our backgrounds have affected us into the people that we are today. Understanding that you are going to be in the journey of creating i-background yomntanakho kunye naye as umzali. We have spoken about how we need to heal from the childhood traumas. We have made a few examples of some of the childhood traumas. It's not limited to the stuff we have spoken about. Zininzi i-trauma abantu abadlule kuzo. So please, as a parent, please try to go back. It's not nice. Take yourself back and heal kwezo traumas. But I think we have explored those topics kakhulu. Today, I want us to tap into faith and belief systems. Ne? So as parents, we have got our own belief system. Ungumzali, you have your faith, you've got what you believe anchors you, you've got what you believe grounds you. Le nto ukholelwa kuyo, le nkolo unayo ihamba ne-religion ke, noba umntu uzoyibiza njani inkolo akuyo. I want us to talk about that, okay? It's important that as a parent, you identify what your faith is, what your belief system is, to the core, remembering that some of the belief systems that we have now come to embrace, that is you as a parent, that you have come to embrace, is different from the belief system that your parents had. We allow me to make an example. Ngam. Okay, ndikhulela kwikhaya lamaKrestu. Abazali bam bobabini bazalwa ngamaKrestu. They are from a Christian background. One is from an Anglican background, the other is from a Wesley background. Now, both of them, growing up, they grew up in families that practiced cultural beliefs. And in their own journey of becoming, they embraced a different line of Christianity, attending Pentecostal church and converting to be born-again Christians. Now, I don't want to dwell on that, but what I want you to look at is the fact that you are looking at parents who are then raising a child in a Christian home, Pentecostal line of church, and in a home of born-again Christians. These parents are coming from families, families that are also Christian identifying. However, they are also practicing cultural beliefs. Okay, they are embracing cultural beliefs. Now, the question becomes, for my parents, what belief system do they desire for me? Okay, we haven't asked which one do I choose or which one do I desire. I'm asking what do they desire for me? So if you look at this example that I've just made with my own parents, their desire will be that we want our child to grow up as a born again, because this is the line we have chosen and this is how we have raised our child. So we want our child, or we desire for our child, to affiliate or to identify with our identified belief system. Was that not the wish from their parents too? So it certainly was. Now, the reason why I'm raising this is if parents don't take themselves to a zone of saying, this is what I believe in, this is what I practice, this is where my faith stands, and they make it a general assumption that their children will conform or will abide or will also embrace the same faith that they are affiliated to, then it can create lots of problems. Because there are certain things that might be acceptable in one faith, but not acceptable in another faith. That as your child grows, they will rather identify with the other faith than yours, because for them, they feel the way in which you are exercising or practicing your faith is not suitable for them. Ndicela uyitsho ngesiXhosa. Wena njengomzali unenkolo yakho oyamkeleyo, oyivumileyo, ophila ngayo. Inemithetho nemimiselo ohamba ngayo wena. Kodwa umntwanakho kungenzeka angakwazi ukumanyana ncakasana nale ndlela wena ukholwa ngayo. Azazikhethele nkolo yimbi. Uzawuva njani wena ungumzali? So in raising children, we need to be able to be genuine as parents in understanding our own faith. Be transparent to ourselves, firstly, as to why we identify with the faith that we believe in. Because when you are raising your children, it's not important to raise your children as anti-ntonton, anti-ntonton, anti-ntonton. Sometimes you need ukugqamisa le yakho into, make yours shine so that it can outshine the rest. Help me to understand as a parent how you got to being centered in this faith and in this belief system that you have embraced. Teach your child the principles zenkolo yakho, the fundamentals zenkolo yakho. One other issue that I have identified when it comes to faith and religion is how children get introduced to inkolo through ifiye. Yazi into yoyikayo? Into yoyikayo ayifani nento oyi-honorishayo. Ixabiso lento yoyikayo nexabiso lento ithandayo soze lifane. We need parents to learn themselves, because one of the challenges esizoba nazo as adults is that sibe kwinkolo esikuzo because of fear. Wherein kuzawuthiwa if awuzenzi ezi zinto zalapha ekhaya, amathila aza kuflathela, uzawuba ngungantweni wena. Where kuzawuthiwa if awuyenzi lento yalapha ekhaya, apho uyakhona kusesihogweni. We are instilling fear to say, the reason why ndikholwa ngolu hlobo, it's because ndoyika ukuba ndingayi esogweni. It can't be the ultimate prize, because at some point somebody is going to take a back seat and be shown alternatives. It is because andifuni ukuflathelwa. Uye nakwezinye inkolo ngenkolo, zinintsi inkolo siyazazi. Khona amaJuda, khona amaSulamsi, bakhona nabakhetha ukungakholwa ntweni. Namhlanje sisathetha ngomzali o-identifya inkolo ethile njengenkolo yakhe. Ibalulekile ke lento because kufanele uba sigade izinto ezithile ebekumele ukuthi sizama ukuzifaka ebantwaneni when we want to get them to understand who we are and how we identify with our faith. If faith comes with the higher being, and this becomes a very crucial part yomzali okanye ye-individual. Ukwazana ukuthi there is a higher being endijonge kuye, endinikela impilo yam kuye, endikholela ukuthi uyandincedisa ukuyihamba le ndlela. ifaith iba nee-principles ezihamba nazo. Ezi principles zi-instilla ukulunga emntwini. These are the principles ekufuneka into kokuba xana uthe chu nam sele mna ke ngoku ndingumntana wena ungumzali, help me to understand that these are my mothers, are my fathers, are my guardians guiding principles. Because these are the things that have drawn umzali wam into this faith. Umzali wam unamabakala obomi adlule kubo amenze into yoba ayibone iphilile le nto akuyo. Zintoni ezo nto? Because zeza zixhobo uzamnika zona umntanakho zenza ukuba yena in finding his or her own faith ayazi uba kodwa ikhona into ephilileyo endikhutshwe nayo ekhaya. Ikhona into ephilileyo ephethwe ngumamam, ngutata wam, ngumntu ondikhulisa, ngumakhulu wam, ngutamkhulu wam, ngubani. That they will know in their own journey of self-discovery. They will know. And apha ibaluleke khona into kokuba ubambe i-essence yokuba wena kuqala as umzali uyazi le nto uthi kuyo. Ikuncedise kuthini ke ngoku xa uyidlulisela ufundisa abantu ngokokuba ndikholwa entwenini? Uyidlulise ngothando, hayi ngentiyo, hayi ngenzondo, hayi ngobukraka. Udlulise le nto wazana nayo ofilisha ukuba ikunika amandla kweyakho indlela yokukholwa. Mamela ke, nantsi indawo apho iba buhlungu khona and yenza iingxaki ezininzi kumakhaya amanintsi. When children are then going to opt for a different belief system. Kukhona amakhaya aqhabalakene ngenxa yokuba umntwana akhethe enkolo yimbi. And ayilulanga, excuse me, because ngamanye amaxesha iyenza abazali bazivele ngathi they have been betrayed by their children. And yenza into yoba umzali azivele ngathi umfeyilile umntwana wakhe. That is why bethunana bendiyibethelela kangaka i-importance yokuzazi. Xana sisithi zazi to an extent of knowing your faith, it's because sifuna ukuba yiba kwiposition yokubazisa abantwana bakho ukuthi ungubani, ukholwa entwenini. And in the same way, inkolo yakho isenoba ayifani neyabazali bakho. Understand that inkolo yabantwana bakho one day isenongafani nenkolo yakho. So when you groom or when you impart ebantwini ukuba wena ungubani, ubanikeza ii-tools ezizawubancedisa babone into kokuba womelezwe yintoni na wena, so that ukwazi unavigata and journey through this life. With the hope that as they are finding their own path, they'll be able to reflect and say, there lived a man, there lived a woman who imparted A, B, and C kum. Owayephila ngohlobo lunje nolunje nolunje. Abantu along your life who are going to begin to judge you based on the faith of your partner, the faith of your children, the faith of your siblings, it's people who are short-sighted, because each and every person is in their own journey of becoming. And kufuneka ukhumbule i-challenge iba khona ngoku, because sometimes wena ungumzali ukhule ukholwa ngolunye uhlobo. The next thing ekukhuleni kwakho, you then shift to any belief system. Abantwana bakulindele baze bathini. That is why inkolo yakho funeka ihambe nee-principles ezithile that serve as your guiding principles wena. Because when it comes to inkolo, it then seals your connection and your identification with the higher being. Afika amaKrestu athi sazana noThixo ngoKrestu Yesu. Samkele uKrestu Yesu sizalwe ngokutsha. Ifike nenye inkolo icacise ngolwayo uhlobo. So it then becomes now your identification with the higher being. But izisa ntoni le nto apha ebomini bakho? Because those are the principles ekuzofuneka uphile ngazo day in and day out, and they need to align with you. Mayibe zizinto ezikuphilisayo nezikwenza uphelele. So when you then show people who you are, inkolo yakho ihambelane with the person that you are projecting. Phakathi kwakho nabantwana bakho inceda phi ke le nto? Kumaxesha apho abantwana bakho uzowufilisha ngathi abahambelani, nindive kakuhle, abahambelani nenkolo yakho, they will know how it makes you feel. They will know this is hurtful to my mother. This is hurtful to umzali wam. But in the process, izawuncedisa nawe ubukhumbule that, hey, lo mntana is also an individual, ukweyakhe indlela. And they also need to find eyabitrack abaza kuyilandela, eyabitrail abazayilandela, abazawuhamba ngayo. So you will start to interpret some of these things differently. You will start to interpret them differently. Ingabi ngathi abantwana bakho are personally or viciously attacking you. And asikafiki nofika in how each different faith is going to interpret ezo meko uzobe ujongene nazo nabantwana bakho ngelo xesha. But one thing I love with every religion, it goes back to the fundamentals of knowing the higher being. It teaches you the principles of Ubuntu. It gives you humanity. Ikunikeza amandla ukwazi into yoba noba isimo sinjani ungaphindi uphakame. Because it is founded in faith, inkolo, ukukholwa. Believing and speaking things that are not seen into existence. Faith. So give your child those guiding principles that have drawn you to your belief system. And trust them, because you are genuine and honest enough with your child. Trust them that even if umkile kuyo, it will find my child again. It will sustain umntanam because of the principles I have instilled in them. In that way, nawe in your own journey, awuzumbandaza xa uzibhaqa usuka kwelinye icala usiya kwelinye icala. Uzoya genuinely ebantwaneni bakho to project that this is where life has thrown me. But the principles zokuguide umntu ndizibambile nazi. Because other families, other parents have now been challenged by the fact that bazivela ngathi bangamawequ-wequ. Namhlanje bangapha, ngomso bangapha. Abantwana bathi siphithina kuyo yonke le tafutaf. So, in concluding, I hope this is going to make sense to somebody. Find your own belief system. Don't transfer your spiritual or your religious confusion or dilemma to your children. Give them time to also find their own dilemmas, but don't consciously or cautiously realizing that you are in dilemma, and then uthatha abantwana bakho bafake kwi-dilemma. Find your own spiritual anchor ezawuncedisana nawe ibe ngamandla to say, okay, this I believe in. And when you find it, consciously know how you project it. Know why you are in it. So that if uphuma kuyo uzazi uba uphumele ntoni. But in a nutshell, kuyo yonke le nto ndiyithethayo, it's very important that you fully understand your belief system and your religious affiliations. Know where your faith lies and teach your children about your faith. Because for so many people, faith has been their anchor. It has been their source of strength. And in teaching them, remember that they too are individuals in their own journey of becoming. They might go for it, they might not go for it. And them not going for it should not change who you are, what you are, or what you believe in. Don't be short-sighted like other people who will want to use it against you. So find your anchor. There have been days when my faith has pulled me through. Days when I couldn't explain what I was going through, but my faith pulled me through. So there are certain things that when you go through them, you will need to cling to that faith, but you have to identify with it, understand it from ezantsi esiswini sakho. Identify with it sele izinto zakho zingathi azihambi kakuhle. Identify with it sele kungathi you don't represent it that well, but you know that it is who you are, because izakomeleza. So when you go out there, you then project. You don't fake it. Project your faith. Teach people your faith. Show them your faith. If it's good for you, if it can be good for them, they will see it. So teach your children your faith. But don't lie to yourself and think they will embrace the same faith. You can hope, you can pray, but the best you can do is teach and live your faith and hope they will get it. So yeah, today that's what I wanted us to share for this fourth part, that it's important to understand our belief system. In families, it's very important, between yourself as a parent and your child. And let it anchor you. Let it be one of your sources of strength, because we need to have sources of strength. We need to have things that are going to pull us through difficult days. Because when you are talking family, you are talking something that the devil is fighting against. So with that said, my dear friends, thank you so much for joining us again. And I do hope that you will have time to join us again. Masithi qhube thunana. Sithi chu siqhubeke ngolu hlobo oko sikufunayo thina ukuba sizama ukwakha isizwe ngokwakha umntu. So sithi sakha umntu kwakheke isizwe. Let's have those conversations. I'm looking forward to your feedback. I love you and goodbye.